opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And welcome into a Friday episode of Running Point on YSNLive.com. As always, brought to you by our good friends, top right-hand corner of the screen right there, Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you, so you don't have to. And we try to do the same here on this show every single day. Thank you so much for tuning in. First Friday of February. How's it feel? TGIF, right? Every Friday is just a little bit sweeter as we head closer and closer to warmer weather. I am looking forward to it. Like I was talking last night to some people, I said, just get us past these. I know this week has been pretty mild, but get us past these days where I don't want to see any more 20 or belows. Like if I can consistently see the light at the end of the tunnel, then I will be chipper. I am a warm weather body. I want warm weather. I know we're not going to get extremely warm until June, because that's just how Ohio is. But I would love it if we could just give me some 40s, give me some 50s consistently. Let's get through the month of February, and hopefully we'll be in that 40s to 50s range soon. Punxsutawney Phil did just give us an early spring. So if you believe in that sort of thing, the power of Punxsutawney, I'm happy of that, because I feel like a couple years in a row he's been shafting us with a long winter and no more. Yeah, groundhog. Someone gave him a stern talking to inside his den and came out and gave us an early spring. Let's go. Got a lot to do on the show today. We're going to go the extra mile for you, like our sponsors, Greenwood Chevrolet, by showing another player profile. We are going into Crestview tonight. Today, excuse me, I got the hiccups a little bit. Today, I should say, going to Crestview, as we will feature the player profile that we have with their senior, Emily Downey. It's not the first time that she's been highlighted on YSN, a couple of volleyball player profiles as well, but this is the first time we get to talk to her about her basketball career, and she takes basketball just as seriously as she does volleyball, and a great leader for this team that is a fairly young roster. You got to look at it and say, all the big name talented girls that people are talking about for Crestview, they're all underclassmen, or at least not seniors, a couple of them juniors. But Emily Downey is kind of like that ship at the top of the fleet, right? That's just leading the way, especially with work ethic and attitude, knowing how to be a champion. Obviously, she just came from a volleyball season where they went undefeated in the regular season, got all the way to the regional finals. So she has brought that competitiveness and attitude into the team as well. One of the things we talk about actually is the fact that her senior year, Emily Downey has not lost a home game at all, period. No home games lost in volleyball, no regular season games lost in volleyball. And Crestview girls basketball is well on their way of not losing a home game here in the regular season now. They have one more game left. It's at LeBray. So actually, regular season wise, the home schedule is done. There's a very, I'm not even going to say very good chance they're going to host a sectional game. So they'll get probably one or two more home games, depending on whether or not they take the bye in the sectional. That'll be up to Coach Blanche. I'm sorry. I don't know if he will because their last game's tomorrow. I mean Monday. Their last game is Monday. Friday. Their last game is Monday, and that's a long layoff, so they might not take the break just to get back on the floor. So they might play 2 sectional games. That's going to be up to Coach Blatch. Tournament draw is Sunday, so when we come back on Monday, we'll kind of understand where every team is going. It's going to be a lot different this year with a kind of a super district. We used to call the two districts put together as one the super district. Now it's 4 districts shoved into one. So 46 teams in Division 3. I don't know what do we just go super? Do we go mega? Do we go ultra? Do we go like the deluxe edition bracket? Let me know what you want to call it, and we'll call it that. But the districts have gotten a lot bigger, and now you can pick anywhere. So, not that I don't think anyone would up there, but like if Warrensville Heights wanted to, who is probably going to be the 1 seed, if they wanted to, they could come down to Struthers and play it. There's nothing stopping them. They could go into a Struthers district. They could go into one of our local districts if they felt that was their best chance to succeed. Now, I don't see why in God's green earth they wouldn't go into one of the districts that's a lot closer to them, but it is possible. It is something they could do, and some of the middle teams from those areas could be forced into our local district. So we're going to be seeing probably some teams that we are not used to seeing in districts. A lot of the names that we've been familiar with in districts might be elsewhere, to be honest. There's going to be a lot to unpack on Monday because, like I said, we're not just talking about 23 teams anymore. We're talking 46 now in Division 3 and around that number in all the other divisions. So Monday is going to be a big show. We might go into overtime a bit, just a fair warning, because there's going to be a lot to unpack when those girls' brackets come out on Sunday night. So stay tuned for that for Monday. It's going to be a fun time. But first, obviously, we have to take care of Friday's business. We have boys basketball on the network tonight. We're going to preview that. We're going to recap what happened last night, and then we will also get to the player profile from Emily Downey. So without further ado, without having to hear me just babble anymore, let's hop into the scoreboard on ysnlive.com, which is presented by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. Last night, February 1st, first day of February, starting off with a bang, and we will go into the scoreboard. We'll lead off with Cheney getting the big win over Akron East at home, 51-20. The final score there. A really good game going on in Badger as the Braves pull out the 2-point victory over Warren JFK. They avenged the earlier season loss that the Braves had at Warren JFK. So those two teams split their home and away series. Struthers and Lakeview getting together in the NE8. And it's Struthers getting the 53-40 win over the Bulldogs. Emma Morris, the leading scorer for Struthers. And that's a good win for Struthers to get back on track after a couple of tough losses. Brookfield and Newton Falls were canceled last night, so that game did not happen. We go into Poland. They were in the non-conference world as they fell to Cardinal Mooney 38-34. This is a game that Poland led by 6 going into the fourth quarter. Mooney made some adjustments, especially on the defensive side. They really stopped Poland from getting into their driving lanes. And I think Poland, just watching this game, I was there, obviously. I was on the call with Sammy Masucci, Poland Jr. One of the things I saw was Mooney did a good job, especially in the fourth quarter, cutting off the driving lanes. And I felt like Poland's players weren't making that adjustment quite quick enough. And you got to remember that it's a Poland team that is kind of green now because there's a lot of players that are all of a sudden having a lot bigger roles on varsity that didn't. And Coach Blanche would never use that as an excuse, but it's reality that, you put them in a tough spot. You said we have to make an adjustment on the fly, something that was working for 3 quarters. Mooney's doing a good job making sure that's not working anymore. We have to adjust now, and I felt like they just couldn't adjust enough in time in the half-court offense to get something going. And Mooney just took control of it. Was really impressed with Katie Pregabon, who had a huge game, 14 points for her. Her first 9 points from the floor were all from the 3-point line. Started off the game 3 for 4 from behind the arc. Hit her first 2. Starting off hot, didn't really let up. That's above her average. It's above her season average. She's probably not the girl that gets circled on the scouting report. It's probably, obviously Diorio gets circled first, but then Rotuno gets circled next if you're scouting this team on paper. But one of the things that I thought was really fun to watch last night is obviously Sam Rotuno coming off of a little bit of an injury. So kind of taking it easy, played, scored 5 points, was definitely a presence. But you saw someone else kind of step into that role of the outside shooter that is going to, contribute a big point total. So Katie Pregamon, really impressed with her game last night. Once again, 14 points for her. Diorio led with 15, and Mooney gets the come from behind win, 38-34 over Poland. And it's a big win because this is the last one that counts towards the RPI. So Mooney could move up some spaces as they beat an 11-win Poland team. Poland moves to 11-7. They still have everything in front of them. They have the conference to square it up. If they win Monday at Struthers, then they will be the outright NE8 champions, and they can square that up on Monday again. Then they have a couple of non-conference games, and then one more conference game at the end of the season at home against Hubbard. Now, I shouldn't say outright. If they win at Struthers, they'll claim at least a share. They can claim the outright championship against Hubbard in the last game of the season. But a share. A guaranteed NE8 title will be won by Poland if they're able to go to the field house and get the win on Monday. We move on to the next score in the schedule as Columbiana goes to Latonia and gets the win 55-4, the final score there. United beats East Palestine by the final score of 58-10. Crestview takes care of business in their senior night, last home game of the regular season, 77-16. They beat Garrettsville Garfield. Addison Rhodes had 33 points in that game. We move on to Girard going to Hubbard and getting the 41-30 win. Jackson Milton falls to Heartland Christian 54-47. That avenges an earlier season loss to the Blue Jays for the Lions, so congratulations to them. LeBray beats Camel 55-14. Champion celebrates senior night with a win over Liberty 59-16, the final score there. We have Lisbon beating Wellsville Wellsville beating Lisbon 61-35. South Range gets the win over Niles 65-40. That was one they had control of from the absolute tip. They were up 24-1 after one quarter of play, ended up winning by 25, 65-40. Springfield gets the victory over Ursuline. Big win for the Tigers. They were wavering a little bit in the non-conference especially. They come after their tough loss to Mineral Ridge on Monday, and they beat a very good Ursuline team at home. Mineral Ridge backs up their first place spot they just earned on Monday with a big win over Western Reserve, 58-40. This is a Western Reserve team that twice pushed Springfield to the brink, so they're a very good Blue Devils team that Mineral Ridge kind of took care of. Mohawk gets the win over Elwood City, 56-50. How about this? The Warriors outscore Elwood City 19-3 in the final quarter. They didn't need all those points, but they got them and they won by 6. Southern will go on the road and fall in a close one to Shenandoah, 51-50. Tough one for Southern. Beaver Local, they beat Toronto 46-33. And East Liverpool gets the win over Oak Glen 45-40. Big win for the Potters on the road there. Boys basketball, Ashtabula St. John, they fell to St. Martin. That was in John Carroll, 53-46, the final score there. So St. John falls to St. Martin. That does it for the scoreboard as we take a look at um, what the theme of the night was really, and it was a lot of just teams taking care of business. We saw a lot of um, conference standings, first place wins on Monday. I think this was kind of like the breath after that, because now it's a lot of games that these teams just kind of went and took care of business against. Not a lot of competitive games. I think the game of the night was probably Badger and JFK. Those two going at it. Those are two really really good programs. Ursuline not being able to take care of business at Springfield. That was a really good game though. The Tigers with a big win. But for the most part, you see these teams, you know, shoring up the title on Monday, or shoring up their spot on Monday in big games. And then you see them kind of come on Thursday and use that momentum to take care of business the next time out. Crestview will complete their MVAC sweep if they are able to go to LeBray and win on Monday. So that's one more game for Crestview to take care of business. The interesting thing there, of course, is with their last game being February 5th, they have a 2-week layoff before tournament starts. So it's going to be interesting to see how they plan on handling that. They probably have one scrimmage left over that they can use to try to get someone in and play them in a non-counting game, an exhibition game. There are plenty of good teams that I think they could choose from. I think they would be wise to go and get, an upper division team that's going to test them really well. Maybe a Boardman, maybe like a Fitch or a Howland. So we'll see, who they try to get to schedule for the scrimmage. But even that, you have one time on the floor against someone not named you in 2 weeks. That's why I would be shocked if Blatch does not go for the 2 sectional games just to get his team on the floor in that sectional semifinal. Odds are it'll be a team that you'll be able to get in and get out of. It'll be a very high seed coming to Crestview. And a lot of people look down on games like that because they say, well, it's, might not be as good and might be better off just practicing at that point. But just being in the game atmosphere, I think would pay off, especially with Crestview's big layover. If you didn't have that big layover, I would say absolutely take the bye, put work in, get in the gym. That's better than blowing out a team that's not going to show you anything. But if you have a 2-week layover, maybe you consider taking both of those sectional games. A lot of storylines going into Sunday. A lot of storylines. We'll talk about it a little bit, but I don't want to take too much meat off the bone for Monday's show. That does it for the scoreboard, the recap for today. A lot of great action last night. What we're going to do is, before we take a break, I do want to shout out someone that the baseball community lost that Ysn knows pretty well, and Ysn actually had a chance to get to know this coach. It's Florida State legend Mike Martin. He retired, last season. He passed away yesterday, and he was if you know college baseball, this guy was the legend of legends. Like, he was the icon of baseball in the college ranks, coaching at Florida State. Did so much for the sport of baseball. Back in 2019, when YSU traveled down to Tallahassee, DJ Oakley was fortunate enough to get a coach's corner in an interview with Mike Martin, where they just talk, and listening to it, you could probably tell that DJ and Mike and Coach Martin could have talked for 2 or 3 hours. I mean, it was just one of those conversations that they were both hitting on each other, hitting the right notes and everything. Just a great coach, a great legend, and we were sad to hear about his passing. We have shared that interview, that Coach's Corner, on our social media pages. So go check that out. It's a great conversation with a legend of baseball. I know it's probably one of DJ's favorite memories, as a member of YSN. It's got to be up there, being able to interview a legend like that at Florida State. Great coach, great mind, great icon. We want to say rest easy 11. The baseball community, college and otherwise, will miss your contributions to the game, and we will forever remember the legendary status and the lessons that you taught all the people that you came across. So without you, there would not be nearly as many great memories for college baseball athletes around the world. So, Mike Martin, we say rest in peace, my friend. We will take a commercial break. When we come back, we will have a player profile of the feature. It'll be Emily Downey from Crestview. Girls basketball, their senior, leader, captain, everything else you want out of a senior. That'll be after this break on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
As Comco celebrated 70 years in 2022, we have much to be thankful for. We are proud of the Comco culture as we serve our customers with Comco Care with our premier customer service, quality parts, and on-time delivery. The partnerships we have with our customers and our community are second to none. We thank you for your continued support. We are proud to be part of this community and will continue to offer great jobs for great people.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at MyersFamilyINS.com or find us on Facebook.
Your culinary adventure awaits at Legends Food and Drink. Experience a welcoming ambiance while you explore our appetizing menu featuring over 20 meals under $20 and over 30 lunches for $12 or less. Our private dining room seat between 10 and 20 at no additional cost. And don't forget our spacious 35-seat bar for your favorite sporting event. Book your special occasion in our elegant banquet room that seats up to 150 comfortably. Legends Food and Drink, a taste you'll remember. Market Street and Route 224 in Boardman.
Welcome back to Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Got a comment saying that someone's having some technical issues. Mark, I just checked it on the commercial break. I pulled it up on my Facebook. It says you're watching on Facebook, and it played okay on my end. So everything's going fine on our end as far as technical issues. So I hope you get that figured out. Love you tuning in. Appreciate the support, and hope you can get that squared away for the rest of this show. We'll go into our player profile feature. It's Crestview senior girls basketball player Emily Downey. Hope you enjoy this great interview with a great senior and a great leader. Anthony Hartwig with you, Crestview girls basketball player profile. I am joined by senior Emily Downey. We've heard from Emily before, and it's time to get back with her for the basketball season. Emily, how are we doing today? Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So first question is a senior. We've asked you, the senior questions for volleyball. Does senior season for basketball feel any different? Are there new emotions now that you've gone through a senior night and you've gone through all the last emotions that volleyball season already brought you? Does it feel different now for being a senior for basketball?
Well, I think volleyball ending was really emotional, and then I got started up again for basketball, and now seeing that it's almost coming to an end again, it's kind of emotional again. I'm not ready for it to be over.
Talk about this team. I mean, obviously, you have one of two seniors that you're a part of. You're a leader to a lot of people. That it's a young team. There's a lot of young talent on your roster. What's that been like for you leading a fairly young roster in this basketball season?
Really, all the girls, we all get along really well, and they all work really hard. And I think all of them are leaders themselves, and so I think we just all work really well together.
How much of the leadership experience from the volleyball season and what you were able to do in that year, how much did you carry that on to being a leader this year for the basketball team?
I think especially because we had a lot of incoming freshmen for volleyball, and I was one of the captains for volleyball as well. Being a leader there has helped me in basketball. So,
you look around, we're talking about volleyball, basketball. You haven't lost a home game in either one of those seasons, and you haven't lost a regular season game in either one of those seasons. What's it like to be a part of both those teams and look around the Crestview, girls athletics community and see so much talent and so much success right now?
It's just really exciting, especially being my senior season. I really couldn't ask for much more, and being undefeated, it's crazy to think about 2 undefeated seasons in 1 year.
Crestview, the girls team has been good for a while. This is not the first time that we've seen Crestview, have a successful season. But was there a moment where the girls and the team kind of realized that this is something a little bit even more special and you got something going on this year? Was there a moment in the locker room or a moment in a game where you really felt things were working out to be something really special?
I think just the year as a whole, last year, I think we were really good, but it was still a building year. And this year, we came in, and I just think at the start of the season, I saw something really special with this group and see how much we've improved just from last year to this year.
You have become a deadly 3-point shooter from the perimeter for this Crestview team. What's it been like developing your shooting skills and also the confidence that comes with being the shooter that you are?
Well, coach has always told me to be confident in my shot, and I think I've gotten a lot better with that this year, and it's good to see that. So,
what were some of the things that got you confident? Where does this confidence come from this year, and what were some things that helped you grow into it this year?
I think just having the mentality that if you miss, it's okay. And also that if we miss, a lot of the time Lorraine can rebound it. So just not being scared to take the shots.
Not only is this a young team with young talent that was there last year, but there are also some players that are really, taking their first steps into the varsity world this year, whether it be, a freshman coming in or a sophomore that didn't get a lot of varsity time last year that's stepping into a bigger role this year. For you, what's it been like seeing players like that come out and have success and be parts of this team?
I think it's really great to see all of us from seniors down to freshmen are getting some varsity time, and that the ones who everyone's come in and worked really hard. And I think the girls are just, like I said, really working hard and playing up to the level.
We've talked to a multitude of your teammates, and they're all talking to us about this family atmosphere that this basketball team has and how much it goes past the cliche that every team says we're a family. This one, you actually feel it. You feel it in your bones almost. From your perspective, what is it about this group of girls that makes it feel like, it's legitimately a family?
I mean, on the court, we connect so well and we flow so well. But even just off the court, I think we have a lot of fun together. We're always laughing and having fun whenever we're together at team bondings. And I think that's really great.
Not a lot of carryover from the girls that played volleyball that came over to play basketball as well. So from your perspective, what's it been like transitioning into a different locker room with different personalities and being able to have a fun season with a different group of, talented leaders in the basketball season?
It's really exciting to see how, going from volleyball to basketball, especially because volleyball, some of the girls I've been friends with since kindergarten, but basketball, it wasn't quite the case. And now seeing how close I've gotten to them has been really nice.
Who do you think you've gotten the closest to this year that maybe last year or maybe coming into the season, you weren't as close with, or you didn't know that well, and now this year because of basketball, you've been able to grow a real strong friendship with?
I see myself getting a lot closer with all the girls. I think Ava is one that I've gotten a lot closer with, even on the bench or off the court, laughing together has been fun.
We've also heard about team bonding exercises that this team does and the things that they do to hang out together and to build that chemistry as a team. What's your favorite team bonding exercise so far for the basketball program?
Oh, we've gone to a few basketball games, which I think was fun because we get to watch basketball still, but we get to spend time together.
We've asked you about your volleyball journey. Let's talk about your basketball journey. When did you start picking up basketball? When did you kind of fall in love with the sport? When did you start taking it super seriously?
I've been playing since I was really little, first grade little. And I think I almost didn't play because I was kind of scared. And I'm really glad I ended up playing. And I think that in middle school and then transitioning to high school, I really started to love it.
What were some of the things that convinced you to play and get past those fears you were talking about? What were some things that convinced you to go out for the team?
Well, at first I was really shy when I didn't want to at first play, but I think seeing how nice it is to get close with teammates and that's a huge part of the experience. And I think once I got through that, I had a lot of fun.
During volleyball season, we asked you about your classwork, and that's the beginning of the school year. That's fall. Now we're in the middle. We're in January. We're almost at the end of January. Has senioritis started to kick in a little bit? Have you started to find yourself, really ready to be done with the schoolwork?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm kind of looking forward to, it's going to be sad leaving, and I'm not ready for basketball to be over, but I do feel senioritis a little bit. Yeah.
When you think of, all the things that you're going to reflect on this basketball team and the program and the things you've been able to accomplish, what are you most proud of so far as a basketball player?
I think just from a team perspective, our growth and my individual growth over the years, because I think I've seen a lot of improvement both in myself and in the team.
When you think of, the coaching staff that you have with Crestview, Coach Blatch and his staff, what ways have they helped you grow as a basketball player and as a person?
I think they always go above and beyond, giving us feedback and also encouraging us. I think they've really helped me with my confidence with that.
Okay, we've asked a couple of your teammates to take us through a typical game day for basketball, so I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. What is some of your game day routines, and what does a game day look like for you? It's a game day today, too.
Yeah. Well, come home from school and get a snack, kind of mentally prepare, sometimes take a nap, and that's usually all I really do.
Nothing wrong with a power nap. What are you
Yeah.
snacking on? What's the pregame snack?
Depends on the day, usually.
Did you have one today?
Not yet.
Not yet. Do you know what you're gonna have?
Not yet.
All right, we're gonna get an update on that very soon. Um, what are some of your favorite post game meals after a big win to celebrate?
Well, usually my parents will pick me up something on the way home from some fast food place. That's probably what I usually end up getting.
Or you get a text from mom or dad, and they say, "Hey, we're picking you up something. What do you want?" What's the go-to fast food place that you text back?
Well, my favorite's when they have to go through Boardman, so I can get Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm. What's your order at Chick-fil-A?
Chicken nuggets and fries.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. The old waffle fries.
Yep.
When you think of ways that this team, you think makes them unique, the personality of this locker room maybe sets them apart from any other team, what comes to mind?
I think our ability to understand our strengths and weaknesses and to grow from them. Like at half times in the game, we come in and we talk about what we've done good and what we've done bad. And I think it's good to see us noticing our strengths and weaknesses and what we can improve on.
What are some of the goals that you have for yourself for the rest of the season that you want to accomplish personally?
Personally, I think I want to continue to just probably shoot more because I was saying I feel like I'm finally getting confident with my shot. So I'm going to continue to work on that and to stay strong on defense also.
You said it before, you're getting close to the end of basketball season. Are you doing anything to try to, just enjoy every moment and try to take in everything that you have now that we're getting closer and closer to the end of the season?
I think just getting closer with the team and understanding that it's almost over, not taking anything for granted because once it's over, it's over. So I just want to enjoy what I have left.
You're going to graduate and Crestview going to feel like home to you and you're going to want to come back to it. What do you think it is about that gym, that school, that community that makes you feel like it's home?
I think we're just such a close-knit community and everyone comes together and the people at our game and my family and my friends and boyfriend, the team. I think we're all really close because we all know each other. And I think that's really nice to have.
All right, Emily, just like you during the volleyball season, we're going to give you the chance to turn the spotlight off yourself and give your shout outs and the people that you want to thank for their support. I want to give you as much time as you want to do that now.
I just want to thank my family, friends, boyfriend, community, and all the coaching staff and everyone who's always been there for me. And, of course, Ysn and all the streaming services for us.
All right, Emily, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us again today. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck the rest of this senior season, and we'll talk again real soon.
Thank you so much.
And that was Emily Downey, the senior from Crestview. What a great interview. I told you before it started it was going to be a great interview, and it's the third time I think we've gotten a player profile with Emily. We got one last year during volleyball season. We got one this year during volleyball season, but that was the first basketball player profile that we got from her, and it's great to see, how she's able to take that mindset that she grew in the volleyball season and carry it into basketball. She plays volleyball with a lot of different girls. There's not too many players that played volleyball that also play basketball. So when I say she's carried that mindset, there's really just her carrying that mindset to everybody else and saying, this is how we went and got to a regional final. These are the things that we had in our locker room, the standards we set for team chemistry. And here's Crestview, one win away from tying the program record for wins in a season. And I'm going, way out there to say that they're probably going to win a tournament game. So, we're looking at 23, possible 24 wins at least during the season. They will break the record for program wins. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to just stamp to it. I'm not a coach or player. I can make guarantees. I can make bets on that, and I can just say, hey, you know what? Crestview's going to win more than 22 games. They're going to break that record. They're going to be the winningest team in program history. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's like Thanos in Endgame. It's inevitable. So Crestview's going to be there, and Emily Downey is a big reason why. Her senior leadership and her ability to really build team chemistry, I think, is the biggest contribution she has to that team. Let's go into the scoreboard, back to the scoreboard on ysnlive.com. We'll hop from yesterday to today and see what's going to be on tap for not just tonight, but also over the weekend before we get you out of here and let you go off and have a wonderful Friday. Here's what's on the slate today. A lot of basketball tonight. We'll start in the NE8 as Struthers makes a trip to Lakeview. We have Badger going to Pymatuning Valley. Boardman hits the road. They go to Howland tonight. Bristol making a trip to the Bomber Hangar in Wyndham. West Branch on the road against Carrollton, so it's a battle of the Warriors going on tonight. There, Brook comes to Edison. Brookfield goes to Campbell Memorial tonight. Columbiana still just one loss in the EOAC, trying to still keep pace. They go to Latonia tonight for some conference action. Crestview, fresh off their upset over Newton Falls, going on the road as well as they'll go to Champion. They'll have to get through the Champion senior night and the energy that senior nights can bring to a team as Champion recognizes their seniors. East Palestine, that'll be on the road against United in the EOAC. Edgewood and Jefferson getting together, the old rivalry down there in Ashtabula County. It's renewed again tonight, and it's the Warriors and Falcons doing some battle. Eagles go to Girard tonight from Hubbard, and it's more NE8 action on that front. We have Lisbon going to Wellsville as they try to stay undefeated in the EOAC. South Range, off their win over Poland, will travel to Niles. You have Springfield going to Middle Ridge. Valley Christian, they're going to be on the road at Southern Local. Next up, you have Waterloo. They're still in first place in that MVAC, looking as good as ever. They're going to McDonald tonight. A big one in Austin Town as Ursuline squares off with Fitch. That should be fun inside the Falcons' nest. Jackson Milton travels to Lowville to keep their MVAC play going. St. Thomas Aquinas, they're going to be in Warren JFK tonight as JFK tries to snap back from their loss against Canfield. Cardinal Mooney with a tough test inside the Steel Valley Conference as they have to go on the road to Cheney, a very tough place to play indeed. Riverside going to be on the road at Mohawk. East Liverpool will be welcoming in Youngstown East. Beaver Local going to be traveling to Oak Glen tonight. We have Middlefield Cardinal. They're going to Grand Valley, a Husky versus Mustang matchup. Garrettsville Garfield going to be at Newton Falls. Western Reserve stays in MVAC Scarlet Tier play tonight as they go to Sebring. Liberty on the road against the conference leading Liberty Vikings. We have Salem going to Marlington tonight in the EBC. And last but not least, we have Lakeside going to Geneva tonight as well. Let's get to the announcers and what games will be on the network tonight. I'll scroll back up to the top of this page so you can kind of see what who we're talking about. We have the Struthers versus Lakeview game. That one's going to be Sam Ballas and Jake Nicholas on the call. The Lakeview boys have been covering the Bulldogs all season long. We thank them for that. They'll be on the call again tonight against Struthers. Pymatuning Valley and Badger. That game has been moved to a varsity-only start at 6 o'clock, so scheduling note there. Tyler Hertz will still have the call for you as Badger goes to Pymatuning Valley. Boardman and Howland, Noah Rick's going to be there. He is locked down in Howland, so you got that one covered. Bristol going to Wyndham, and Wyndham's YouTube page will have the huddle cam ready for you there, so don't worry. You can watch that game on YSN. Columbiana at Latonia. Joe Eusebio going to be on the road with Columbiana for that one. The Figley brothers going to be on the road with East Palestine as they travel to United. Edgewood and Jefferson, it's Sam Torres, it's Larry Jennings. The legends of the 440 on the call together on the mic. That's always a fun time when Larry and Sam both get to share a game, and it's a big rivalry between the Warriors and the Falcons. Zach Svensson going to be at Girard tonight as Hubbard travels to the Indians. Gary Altizer got to cover it at Wellsville for their matchup with undefeated Lisbon, excuse me. Ian O'Brien going to be on hand at Middle Ridge tonight as they welcome in Springfield. Larry Scragg going to Southern tonight to cover them against Valley Christian. Matt Marr, Jordan Barber going to be in McDonald as they match up with Waterloo, and they try to knock off the top team in the MVAC Scarlet tier. Ursuline and Fitch will be Tim Corso on the call there. Does a fine job covering the Irish and the Falcons tonight. Eric Hughes going to be in Lowville as he and the Rockets welcome in Jackson Milton. Dom O'Brien going to be at Warren JFK for their matchup with St. Thomas Aquinas. Michael Janaki going to be taking care of you in Cheney as Cardinal Mooney comes to town. Mohawk hosting Riverside. Noah Doty going to be on the call there. And then last but not least, Youngstown East at East Liverpool will be on the network tonight. Gary Burton going to have the call for you there. So now let's scroll down and go into the weekend and see what's going to be happening tomorrow, since we won't talk to you until Monday. We'll start with girls basketball. We have Hoban taking on Start at home. LeBray will host Grand Valley. That's going to be a matchup with two teams that are right next to each other in the RPI. I don't know how last night affected it. I haven't looked at it today, but before last night, it was 15 versus 14 in the RPI standings. I know that won't really matter because they'll be locked in before this game happens, but a good measuring stick for both teams before districts here in a couple of weeks. So that one will be a fun one in Leavittsburg. Fitch going to be traveling to West Branch as they go outside of the conference to try to test themselves. Boardman going to Howland. Remember, Boardman can claim an outright AAC championship with a win over the Tigers. The Spartans already have at least a share. Heartland Christian going to be at home tomorrow. They welcome in Malvern. You have Lowville tomorrow at home as well. They welcome in Valley Christian. Madison going to Conneaut tomorrow. The rivalry that's tonight on the boys' side will be also tomorrow on the girls' side. Two teams that had dramatically different games on Wednesday. The girls fell to Perry in their first loss of the season. Jefferson with a big upset over Madison in their last game out. So you got to wonder how much those two trajectories will affect the momentum of this game between Edgewood and Jefferson. We go to Salem. They're going on the road tomorrow in girls basketball against Notre Dame Cathedral Latin. So it'll be the Quakers and Lions tomorrow as well. Boys basketball tomorrow. We have Lordstown traveling to Ashtabula St. John. Salem boys are also in action. They'll be at home against Poland. South Range will play their second game in 2 days as they go on the road again against Ursuline this time around. Ursuline will also be playing their second game in as many days. They're on the road at Fitch. So that should be a fun one to see how both teams play back-to-back days. East Liverpool hosting Alliance tomorrow. We have Lowville boys going to Heartland Christian. Their girls playing at 1, their boys playing at 7. So a busy day in the Purple Palace at Heartland Christian. East Palestine going to be traveling to Valley Christian tomorrow on the boys' side as well. We do have hockey tomorrow. Canfield going to be hosting Aurora. And we also have a couple of wrestling duels tomorrow as well that we're keeping an eye on, specifically Toronto and Western Reserve going to East Palestine. Let's get to the games that will be on the network tomorrow. Reminder, you can find all these games on ysnlive.com/live. Here's what's on the slate for tomorrow. I will be in West Branch as Austintown Fitch comes to town. That's going to be a 1:15 varsity start, so make sure to tune in there for that call. Boardman to Howland. Noah Rick's going to be taking care of that one as the Spartans go to Howland. Mark Franken going to be in Heartland Christian for both those games. Varsity only for Heartland. Girls against Malvern 1 o'clock is your start time. We'll have Larry Jennings on the call as Jefferson and Edgewood squared off. So Larry Jennings is going to be there for that one. We will have boys basketball on the network tomorrow as well. Sam Torres is going to be in Ashtabula as St. John takes on Lordstown. We have Derek Rhodes going to be at Salem for their matchup with Poland. I will be in Ursuline as a nightcap for myself as they welcome in South Range. Alliance at East Liverpool will be covered by Gary Burton. We have Lowville at Heartland Christian going to be covered by Larry Scragg. And last but not least, Tim Figley going to be on the call for East Palestine at Valley Christian. So all those games will be on the network tomorrow. You can find them at ysnlive.com/live along with today's games as well. Make sure to check out the scoreboard tonight as well. The scoreboard at ysnlive.com/scores. Our team behind the scenes works very diligently to make sure that scoreboard is live updated as possible. And that means you don't have to wait until midnight for final scores to come in. So make sure to check out that page while you're at a game or while you're watching one of the games on YSN or both, because doing both is a great use of your time. Think about it. You're at a gym. You're kind of glancing down at your phone, checking out a broadcast. You look up. You see a big dunk. Awesome. That's awesome. Okay, let's see what's going on down here. It's a great use of your time. And what you can do quickly while you're watching that broadcast, you can just swipe up a little bit, go to the scores page, check the scores of another game, and then keep watching your game that you're watching on YSN and the game that you're at. If you're that kind of person, props to you. Whatever you're doing, the YSN scoreboard is a quick and easy way to find live updated scores. And once again, you don't have to wait until midnight for final scores to come in, which is a great tool for the YSN fans. That'll do it for today's episode of Running Point. We want to thank everyone for tuning in first and foremost. We couldn't have a show without our audience, of course. I want to thank Emily Downey from Crestview for giving us her time and doing an interview with me so we can play that for you on the show. That was a great interview. If you missed it or want to see it in its entirety, make sure to check out Emily Downey's player profile on our YouTube page, or you can also find it on ysnlive.com. And then I also want to remind everybody that we will be back on Monday with a lot of girls basketball tournament talk because the tournament draw is Sunday. So when we come back, brackets will be out, seeds will be out. We will talk about it all, as well as recapping the weekend, as well as having a player profile. So it's going to be a busy Monday. You got to buckle up. You got to come back. You got to tune in to us on Monday. 1 to 2 is when we air. As always, we are brought to you, and we will continue to be brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet